Hey everybody, welcome to Getitlex Podcast. Today, I'm so thankful to say we rocking with Earn. I think I added like 2 hours to your name. No, but thank you for coming on my podcast. Really appreciate it. Taking time out your day, coming to the people. Um, I wanted you to come on because a lot of people back to normal right now. People going to school. Athletes are playing rec sports, football out there right now. I mean, one of our things, rec and middle school, whatever. And I think basketball, people, everything, all the sports going on. So I think it's important for um, people to hear the beginning, middle, and what's going on now as
Yeah.
far as how everything. Some people think it's easy. Some people think just because you have a talent that it's just straight shot, straight you a straight shooter, and it's always that. Um, I just I want people to tap in and really understand the process. So I know a little bit about you. Tell the people who you are.
Thank you for having me on the show. First of all, I appreciate you having me up here. Um, but like you said, my name is Aaron Mitchell. Uh, was born in Petersburg, raised in Matoka. Went to Matoka High School. After that, I went to junior college first. Got a scholarship to go there. After junior college, I went to junior college in Florida, so I went away for a little bit. Um, didn't mind being away from home. It helps you to grow up. Uh, I enjoyed myself in Florida. I didn't want to come back actually, but things didn't work out, so I came back and went to Longwood here in Virginia, in Farmville, Virginia, for my other 2 years. And after that, I went. I didn't go my first year after Longwood. I didn't get a job to go overseas to play basketball, but my following year I did, and coming up it'll be my 10th year playing overseas.
Let's start from the beginning. Um, in grade school, how well if it was before grade school, how did you find out or when did you know you were athletic?
I mean, growing up, you know what I'm saying, as a kid, always outside playing any kind of sports with my friends. So just hanging with my friends, like whatever sports they was into or I was into, we all just always played. And from playing basketball, football, baseball, I even ran track a little bit in middle school. But after I would say the eighth grade, like I really my dad gave me a choice. Actually, it was because I wanted to still play football, so I wanted to do football and basketball in high school. But he gave me a choice. He said, if you do football, I'm gonna need you to keep a certain grade point average. So
I,
I really I really wasn't, you know what I'm saying, cool with that. I mean, looking back on it now, he was just helping me out, preparing me for the future. But at that time, like I didn't really take school that serious. I just did enough to get by. So I already knew, like, yeah, let me just focus on basketball. And those 4 years I focused on basketball, like I kind of saw myself develop, and I actually could do something with it.
so when you started to focus on basketball and you started to get better, you started to get older, and you transitioned to high school. How was the transition as a high school student?
Uh, for me, like growing up playing in high school, like the competition was good. Like a lot of people that I competed with, well, against in high school, went on to play in college. And I know my class of '07, a lot of guys are still playing professionally right now. And even before that, I had a chance to play professionally. So going against the competition around here, against in Chesterfield and in Richmond, it was good competition. Like facing a lot of guys that I'm still cool with to today, that was good to play against.
So well, of course, in high school, you got to keep a certain. I don't know, as it. I don't know if it's a certain amount of credits or like your grades got to stay up.
Yeah, you're great. I mean, you still gotta. Usually, it varies. I know for us, our coach kind of set a rule for it. Like you need to have certain grade point average or you're not gonna be on the team. So it wasn't like crazy high. Like I want to say maybe like a, I don't know exactly, maybe like a 2.5, maybe 2.3. I don't know, but nothing like out of this world. But it was it was definitely preparing us for college as far as you need to have your books. Without getting your schoolwork, like that's you can't focus on basketball. Like you got school got to come first. Like that's the main thing. If you're not taking care of stuff off the court, it's going to hinder you from being good on the court, and that's just with everything in life.
So how was that though? Like, okay, you wasn't like you say you did enough just to get by. So having that mentality and still trying to be a regular kid and still be an athlete, how was that whole
So I definitely, as far as like the whole basketball side, like if you are trying to get to that the next level to play college basketball, like you definitely gonna have to dedicate more time to being doing whatever sport you are doing. So you're not gonna be able to do a lot of stuff with your friends that you want to do because you're gonna be working out or you're gonna have practice or you're gonna be doing other stuff. But as far as the schoolwork, me just doing enough to get bad, like it came back to hunt me in the end. Uh, going after I finished my senior year, going into the next year, like I didn't have a lot of options for school as far as like Division 1, Division 2, or Division 3, because I don't know if it's still. I think it's still the same thing, but your grade point average has to match up with your SAT score. Like it has to be like a certain level. So my grade point average was low, so I needed a higher grade or score on my SAT, and I wasn't getting it. Like I took the SAT probably like 3 times, and I know for me personally, like I couldn't afford to pay to go to college. Like so, I wanted to definitely be able to have a scholarship to go. So that was my biggest goal. So it took a lot. Like I know I went to Fayetteville State at first to visit there, and they were only giving me a partial, and like they're saying like you need to keep taking the SAT to match it with your grade point average. And in the end, I ended up working out for a junior college. Like the junior college came down from Florida, or came up from Florida, saw me work out, and going to junior college. Like junior college route is kind of for people that aren't getting their grades or didn't get seen or have opportunity to go to a school they might not want, or just I'm not gonna say they're bad people, but just having unfortunate situations happen to them. So my grade point average wasn't matching up. It was getting late, so I went ahead and committed to a junior college in Florida, and went 2 years there. So I would definitely say my advice for kids in school is, take it serious, get your work done, get your grades, because it'll always come back to play a role. Like, and it just be a lingering issue.
so when you went to the JUCO in Florida, um, how was that like leaving home, being responsible, solely responsible? Only you got to get yourself up, get to class, make sure you do what you're supposed to do. How was it time? Like the
It
reality hit.
it definitely it woke me up. Like my first couple of weeks there, like I definitely was homesick. Like, like having to go, because we were fortunate enough. We stayed in the athletic people stayed in apartments, so having to go downstairs and walk around the corner and go to the laundromat and wash your clothes, like doing that, it's just it makes you grow up. Having to cook for your own, like we was able to have a kitchen in our apartment, so you got to cook on your own, learn how to cook, um, and then just not be able to go home and say I need help with this, I need help with that. Like
Right.
I'm what 9-10 hours away, so it wasn't, hey, I can call mom and dad, can I come to the house eat, can you do my laundry? Like it was none of that. So it definitely made you become more mature. And also, I enjoyed it. Like I embraced it. I had fun in Florida. Like Florida is Florida, so like I was. 10 minutes away from the beach. So I definitely had a good time, and it helped me that another guy from Virginia that went to Huguenot, Greg Grant, people may know him. We went to junior college together, so we kind of knew each other going down there. So that helped out a lot. So I had somebody else to lean on down there that kind of knew me and helped us get through it together.
So what was the events that led up to you coming
So,
back to the game?
uh, the biggest thing was my family not being able to see me play. Like them 2 years, I want to say they probably saw me play twice. Like they come up one time out of the year and they'll see me play. And then those 2 years, that's the only times I got the song was those 2 times when they came to see me play. Cause I stayed down there for summer school, so that was that, and I had an opportunity to after my first year. Um, well, let me kind of backtrack. So when I did finally get into junior college, the that first week of school, I found out that I did make the SAT score that I needed. So I didn't really have to stay in junior college for 2 years. So because you're called a qualifier, so you don't have to graduate. So I could leave after my first year if I wanted to. So I was going to leave after my first year and go to Bethune Cookman. My college coach at the time, that's the school he had went to, and he knew the coach there. So the coach had liked me, saw me play all year, and he had offered me. And I don't know, it's a mixed story about it, but he said that his son was coming out of high school. And he wanted his son for 4 years, and they wanted me for 3 years. So he said I took too long to commit to the scholarship, so I didn't end up going there. My second year came back to junior college, Longwood. They kind of like just followed me the whole year, and I went on a visit, and I'm like, man, it'll feel nice to come home. Farmville was like an hour and 15-minute drive. Like my mom and dad could come to the game every night, and that was it for me. Like I like them being at the games, being able to see me play. So that was my biggest factor.
While working on your academic part, do you feel like going from one school to another, you got better? Like it pushed you, like as far as your
Uh, it definitely. I'm not gonna sit here and say that junior college didn't prepare me before for my Longwood for 2 years, but once again, I kind of did enough to get by in junior college. So I mean, I did enough to get by. And like when I got to Longwood, like they really like were strict about the academics. And not saying that junior college wasn't, but like I knew I like the first week like I couldn't do enough to get by. Like funny story, like my first year there at Longwood, I was in my English class, world literature, and we had this big old thick book with a whole bunch of short stories in it. And every day, like it's homework. Like you go home, well, go back to your room and read these short stories. And she's like, hey, like you never know when you're gonna have a pop quiz. So I'm like, man, I'm not reading these stories. Like, look, whatever. So we getting these pop quizzes, 5 questions. I'm filling them left and right. Like, so she tells me after class one day, like, hey, like, can you meet me in my office? Comes to the office. Look, just don't come back to my class. I'm like, yo, wait, what you mean don't come back to your class? Like, she's like, yeah, obviously you're not taking this serious. Like, you're not reading. Just don't come back to the class. You're not gonna pass. So I'm like, yo, I need this class. You know what I'm saying? Because I gotta be able to be eligible to play. And she's like, well, I'm sorry. You should have taken it serious. So I go talk to my coach. Of course, I get chewed out by him, cursed out. Tells me like I need to take it more serious. Like you can't keep doing this route. So that kind of opened my eyes, and I kind of started to crack down on my books. Um, but yeah, that the academics part is because it if you're not getting academics, like you can't really focus on basketball like you want to. Like it's always like, yo, like I'm not doing good in this class, and you're thinking about it, so you're not focused on basketball. and a lot of it is time management. Like you gotta be able to manage your time while you're in college. Because you literally going from sun up to sundown. Like I literally would leave my room at 6 a.m. and I get back to probably 8 or 9 because I had a full day dealing with basketball and academics and study hall. So it definitely helps you out with time management.
So um, at this point, did you already feel like being a professional basketball player was your outlet?
Yeah, I definitely like was like, yo, like I can actually go far with this. Like this definitely if I keep working hard like the way I am, I can definitely have a chance to play professionally. So I already had my mind set up once I got to junior college, like, all right, like this is something I want to do for a living. I actually want to I can get paid to bounce this ball. Like, not too many people can say like, hey, like they are doing something they love to do and they get paid for it. So that motivated me a lot more.
So how did that go? Like what is the process?
So the process of I'm saying coming out of school and going pro, yeah, you have an agent. So this process right here, like I was new to it, so I didn't really have any like a lot of guidance on how to pick an agent. So my coach from Longwood, he helped me out with the process. So Longwood is it's not a big school, it's a small school, so it's kind of tougher to be seen. Um, like when I was there, we weren't in a conference; we was independent. So what that means, like we basically could play like anybody. Like we didn't have a set conference schedule, so we would literally like have to win a bunch of games to get into the the college tournament at the end. So it made it a little bit tougher to be seen to go pro. But I played well. I still had a chance. So my college coach helped me with the decision, and the first agent I picked, I shouldn't have went with him. The agency was real big, probably 7 or 8 agents in this one agency, and you talking about 30 or 40 players for each agent. So you're basically just like another number. So it was, and not saying that they're a good agency, but it just wasn't a good fit for me coming out my first year for that situation. Like I needed somebody that would focus a little bit more on me and not just be another number. So like I said, my first year coming out, I didn't get a job. So I was at home. I played like semi-pro ball for Richmond Elite at home, and I also was working at the time. So that really like motivated me more, like having like a job. Like I would be miserable because I'm not playing basketball. So, and not to say like semi-pro wasn't fun, but it wasn't the level that I wanted to be at. I wanted to be overseas playing at a higher level. So that definitely motivated me more. In my second year, after that, I got a chance, and after that, I just took off from there. Like, and that chance, like, it was just to get my foot in the door. Like, it wasn't a lot of money. I didn't make a lot of money my first year, so I was basically betting on myself that I was going to do good and to get filming to be seen overseas. And after that, I just kept climbing the ladder and getting higher and higher overseas.
So it's different. What why did you pick overseas versus NBA?
NBA, oh well, I mean, I'm not gonna say and I'm saying lie. I wasn't good enough for the NBA. Like it's you gotta imagine it's thousands and thousands of players trying to get in the NBA, and it's not that many slots to be picked from. So that's it's a slim chance. Like I forgot the percentage of making it to the NBA, but it's not very high. It's very low. So it was a better opportunity. I had a better chance to make a career overseas.
So what was the first um What was the first team that you got picked
I'm
for?
sorry about that.
Oh,
Say it again.
what's the first team you got picked for?
So the first country that I went to go play for was in Montenegro. Um, it was in this the city was called Biapoya, like small town, like in the mountains, like nobody was there. Like literally, probably I was like the second black player to ever play there.
What?
So yeah, so literally like everywhere you go, like everybody stopping and looking at you, staring. Like the winter was horrible. It snowed every day. Like that was a real test. Like I was there for 9 months, and like it was. I finally got a routine down, and my routine every day was I literally would wake up, breakfast in the morning, go lift, go to practice, come back, shower, eat again, and go to night practice. And we'll have a game either on Wednesday or Saturday. And we were practice every single day between those games, and the only off day we had was Sunday. And I did that for 9 months. And like it wasn't like since it was just a small town in the mountains, like it wasn't anything to do really outside of just play basketball and come back. And I stayed in a hotel. Like people that know about playing overseas, like yo, you don't want to stay in a hotel for the whole season. Like you just don't. You want your own space. You want to be able to cook for yourself. Like you want to live like a normal adult. Like staying in a hotel for 9 months is not an ideal situation. So I that's another motivational, what I'm saying, moment for me is if I can make it here for 9 months, I can play anywhere. I can deal with any situation, and that just made me grind even harder.
So the communication, like you come in with your language. Was there any issues with you like communicating or the players?
Most definitely. So that year, like I played 3 years in Montenegro. I played 1 year in that city, and then the next 2 years, I was able to move to a nicer city by the water. It was nice. I enjoyed being there. But the coach didn't speak any English. Um, a few of the players spoke English, so that's how like I kind of knew what the coach was saying in practice or in the game. But like it was times where like I literally would be in the huddle with the team and the coach would be talking. I don't know what's going on. Like I'm just looking like
Uh,
whatever he draws on the board. Like all right, whatever. Like it's cool. Like I'll try not to mess up. But the language barrier, like man, it was tough. Like not in that town, like nobody spoke English. So I know like for the first probably like week and a half, 2 weeks. I gotta think we going to the grocery store, like everything is a different language. So I'm trying to find stuff to wash my clothes, and I literally was washing my clothes and with fabric softener for like the first 2 weeks. So I'm like, yo, like why my clothes still dirty but they smell good? Like, is this not the right stuff? And finally, like my teammate went with me and was like, yo, like you're not buying the right stuff. Like this is fabric softener. Like, nah. So that definitely like the culture is definitely a big thing over there. Like going places, not knowing the language, like it's tough. It's not easy at all.
what about the competition?
Say it again.
Competition in the United States versus over there?
So definitely coming from college, uh, to playing in Europe, it's different. Like it's very very more detailed. Competition is a lot better. Practices are a lot harder. Like us having 2 practices a day, and just learning how to play that style of basketball. They play a different style of basketball, so it's more movement over there. It's not a lot of one-on-one dribbling. Like you're gonna play team basketball, and if you're not gonna do it, you're gonna sit on the bench. And if you're not producing and doing good, okay, we'll just send you home and find another player to come in and play. Simple as that. So it's definitely, it took me, like I'm very, like my first year, I'm very grateful for my first year. Like looking back, that situation, it helped me learn how to play basketball the European way, because coming from college, I didn't know how to play that way. So that coach, like our practices were intense, but I needed it though. Like it definitely helped me out in the long run.
Definitely. While you were over there, for some of the teams that you played for the longest amount of time, did you ever like pick up their language or their ways?
So I definitely, my 3 years in Montenegro, I picked up on language enough to understand like what people were saying, kind of like bits and pieces, so I could like articulate the conversation a little bit and respond. Um, so uh they speak Serbian over there. So I know a little bit. I don't know. I can't remember because that was a long time ago. But being there for 3 years, like you definitely pick up on the culture and the language. But my teammate, I had another teammate there. He was there in that one team for about 4 or 5 years, and he was from Texas, and he could speak the language good. Like he could hold a whole conversation. I'd be like, bro, like how? Like how do you? He's like, man, I've been here so long. Like I learned it. But going from there, like after that, I didn't stay in too many places for more than like 1 or 2 years. So it's kind of hard to pick up on another language once you move along. So I mean I know simple stuff as far as like ask how to go to the bathroom, say how to say good morning, and certain stuff like that. But learning a language is tough.
So especially when you up in your age too, and it's
Yeah,
like,
like I can only imagine. Like you just remember how trying to learn Spanish in high school, like it is trying to learn a language and you trying to move around, do other stuff. Like most time you have time for that.
my learning days are over. Um, 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 what what made you leave that team, the Montenegro?
Uh, well, I wanted to my second season. Okay, so my first year in Montenegro, I played for kind of like a lower level team. I did good. I moved up to a team that was much better and had a better budget, so I was making more money. Um, I did good with that team for 2 years, and then after that, I switched my agent. I fired my agent. So I felt like he wasn't getting me where I wanted to go as far as like I wanted to keep moving up. I was having good seasons, but I just felt like he wasn't getting me the job opportunities that I felt like I should have. So I ended up firing him, um, and I got another agent. And from there, I moved to playing in the Middle East. So after my last year in Montenegro, I went to Tunisia. That's a country in North Africa. Um, there, like I like how I got that job. I really didn't have like an agent. Like I had a guy that just helped me out. So once I got there, my current agent that I have now, I got him there. He saw me play in Tunisia, and we was on the road one day, and I ran into him, and he seemed kind of weird. Like I didn't like the vibe that he was getting off. So he's like, man, like I seen you play. I like how you play. Like, do you have an agent? I said, no, I don't have an agent. He was like, well, here's my contact information. Just talk to me later after the season if you want to. And in the back of my head, I'm like, man, I'm not gonna talk to you. Like, you seem weird. Like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because you're from a different country. Like, I'm not really too keen to talk to you anymore. So after that season, my teammate, he was like, man, have you found an agent yet? And I'm like, nah. He was like, my agent wants to talk to you. I'm like, cool. Who is it? Come to find out, it was a guy that I met in the hotel that day that saw me play. I'm like, man, I met this guy, you know what I'm saying, in the hotel. Like, what's up with him? Like he seemed kind of off. He was like, man, don't worry about it. Like he comes off like that. Like he's a good guy. And ever since, like that's been my agent.
So, and over there in the Middle East, um, was that like, were you nervous about moving from where you've been at to over there?
So I definitely was like my parents were like, yeah, you sure you want to play over here? Like with everything that's going on. And I'm like, yeah, like I'm gonna give it a chance and see how it goes. So I'm gonna say what the media paints of the Middle East and what the news does, it's not 100%. Like we know the media always tells a bad side. My time in the Middle East has been amazing. Like I enjoy it. Like I've had nothing but good memories there. After Tunisia, I went to Lebanon. I played Lebanon for like a month, and then Lebanon's nice. Like I enjoy Lebanon. Lebanon's amazing. I was in the capital of Beirut, and Beirut is nice. Like we were right by the water. Like the weather was good. That's the biggest thing for me. Like I hate the cold, so anywhere hot, like I'm happy. Like I ain't gotta deal with no snow or anything like that. Like I'm cool. I can't deal with no cold weather. I hate the cold weather. Uh, After Lebanon, I went to Oman. Oman was cool. I liked it there. After Oman, I played in Qatar for 2 years. Qatar by far has been my favorite place to play. Like a nice small country. Like a lot of different cultures come there to work. So you are interacting with people from all over the world. So it's dope seeing different cultures, different vibes out there, and I enjoyed myself. Like, and we were winning. Like, so if you winning, it makes everything better. And after Qatar, I went to Iraq. Yeah, your same reaction. Like everybody, like, what? Like you go play in Iraq? Like, what? Are you crazy? Like my mom and dad didn't want me to go there. Like everybody in my family didn't want me to go there. Um, but Iraq, like, yeah, it was nothing to do there except for play basketball. Play basketball, go eat, come back. That's it. But the people there were friendly. Like I didn't have any issues. There was no problems when I was there. Um, I have a lot. I still communicate with a bunch of people there. Um, and yeah, like Iraq, like people be surprised when I say I played in Iraq. Like it wasn't bad at all. Like I enjoyed myself for the most part. I mean, I didn't like it as far as not having anything to do off the court because everything going on, but I didn't have any issues. I was safe. That's the biggest thing.
Oh, so with you visiting all the places, making those memories, can you like remember like one big situation or a place or something that happened that was rememberable for you?
Good or bad?
Good or bad?
Um, I would say so. Two situations. I'll give good and bad. My most memorable was in Qatar. Us winning the championship, like that was very memorable. Like that team that I was on Qatar, like we was very close. Like we hung out all the time. We always went out, did different things. So winning the championship there, like that was like the most memorable part as far as like a good one. The worst one was probably this year. uh, so playing in Iraq, with everything going on like COVID and everything that's been going on with COVID. So having to take the COVID test and dealing with the traveling and all that stuff. So we had got a break to come home. Uh, like you get a break, they'll let you come home. I got to come home for like 2.5 weeks. So coming back, um, going back, they had, which I didn't know at the time, the government in Iraq had shut down the country and like basically like put them on curfew. Like you couldn't be out past 9 o'clock. Like if you seen out, like you get in trouble. So coming back into the country, you had to have like a special document saying like, hey, like I'm allowed to enter the country because such and such. Well, the team didn't let me know that. So flying back to Iraq, I got there and I got, you know what I'm saying, going through customs, checking my passport, and they was like, "Oh, you got to step to the side." So I'm like, wow, like you see my visa is in there, like I'm good. I've been to Iraq before, like this isn't my first time coming here. Like I play basketball. You got to go to the visa office, go talk to them. So like I got into Iraq my like probably like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I go to the side and he's asking like, I'm saying, what are you doing here? I was like, man, I play basketball here. What team? I tell him the team. He's like, yeah, I know that team. So when he says that, I'm thinking like, all right, like I'm about to go. He was like, all right, well, I need your passport. He was like, where's the document at? I'm like, what document are you talking about? I don't know what you're talking about. Document saying that you can come into the country. And I'm like, I got my visa in there. I don't know what else I need. He was like, well, do you have anybody that you can call? I'm like, man, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. Who am I call that's gonna answer the phone? So luckily, I got a hold of the management for the team, and they talked to them, and they tell me like, go sit down to the side. So I'm like, man, like, what's going on? So I'm trying to text him like, hey, like, what's going on? Like, they tell me to sit to the side. He was like, we're trying to figure it out. So another person comes from like around the corner and is like, hey, like, you got to go with me. So like now I'm at the point like, yo, like, I don't have my passport. I don't know where I'm going. So they taking me and like I'm looking like, yo, where I'm going. This guy like isn't speaking any English. Like they look at me like I don't know. So I get on the elevator, I go upstairs, and I'm kind of like trying to like listen to him, like have a conversation with someone else, and like see if I can like hear anything. So people are asking like, where are you taking? You know what I'm saying him, and I heard him like say like, deport. I'm like, yo, what? Like I'm about to get deported. So they take me to like this small, like dingy, dirty room. It's like probably like 30, 40 people in there, like they've been sitting there for like a couple of days just waiting to leave.
What?
So come to find out, like the management called me back and was like, hey, like we didn't know that you needed a special form to come back in the country because you're on lockdown right now. So you're not letting any outside people come into the country. Like you have to be a resident of the country. So I'm like, yo, like, why didn't y'all tell me this before I got on a plane to come back over? I could still be at home. So I ended up getting deported out of the country. Like, they escorted me onto the plane. I had to sit in like the first row. I had like all this paperwork with me. Like, I got back to Turkey. Somebody escorted me off the plane, took me to the police station in Turkey, in Istanbul airport. I stayed there for like a day, talking to the team in Iraq. They was like, yo, we trying to figure it out. End up, they said, man, just fly back home. We'll fly you back out when we finish getting the situation straight. So like that's my bad story. Like I got deported from Iraq.
So have you been home ever since?
No, I ended up going back. I finished the season there. Like I was able, they fixed the paperwork. I was able to go back. Finish the season out. I got back at the beginning of June, and I've been home ever since.
Oh, whew.
Yeah,
What?
like it was a scary situation. Like I'm glad that happened like later on in my career. Because if it happened like the beginning, I'd be like, yo, like I don't know what I would do.
That would
So
be
it was that was my bad moment for my career right there as far as like traveling.
uh, um. So, oh, what's your plans now moving forward?
Uh, Currently right now I'm waiting to hear an offer to go back overseas. Like I have a couple right now, but I'm trying to weigh it to see which one's gonna be the best one for me. So right now I'm just at home working out, spending time with my family, and waiting to make my decision on which where I will go.
So, also, I know you told me have so
Yeah.
how do you um travel and stuff like that, and stay focused. Knowing that you missing your baby.
It's tough. Like it's definitely it's hard. Like it gets harder every year. Especially, what I'm saying, with him getting older, he's starting to realize, like, yo, like, I'm not there. But with him getting older, he knows, like, I'm going to play basketball. So he'll know, like, Daddy, you going to play basketball? Yes, I'm going to play basketball. But it's definitely, like, very, very mentally tough not being able to be home with him, to see him like I want to see him. So, like, I'm constantly FaceTiming all the time to make sure I speak to him every single day, and just to understand that
See, that was quick, right?
yeah,
That was quick, right?
it was quick. Yeah, it was quick.
I didn't. I didn't. I didn't got quick.
But yeah, it's been tough. But he's been able to come over. Like, my second year in Qatar, he was able to be there for a little bit, and he enjoyed it. Like, he had a ball out there. He didn't want to come home. All right, yeah, he enjoyed it there. It was fun. Like, especially with Qatar, he was in Qatar, so the I would say, like, it's very, like, it's more laid back there. So let's just say, like, if he isn't sleeping at night and he's still up, and I want to get him to, like, get the energy out, like, I could go to the park at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, and you'll see other kids out there playing. Like, it's yeah, like, it's the park is lit up. You'll still have, like, a little cafe open, and be able to go out there and play at the park at 11, 12 o'clock at night, and not be worried about anything happening. But overall, like, it's tough. Like, it's not easy at all. Like, anybody understand that has a child knows how tough it is being away from them for that long of a time.
I can only imagine. I don't know, like 1 week, but you go like months sometimes. That's what. But now you say he can come over. And know that away for a month at a time.
Yeah,
That's a perk to it. But still, even like a couple days, that's just
it's just like them first few weeks, man. I be going through it. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I be like, man, like, I'm ready to go back home so I can see my boy.
Lord, that's just wow. And that's your only baby.
I have stepson too.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, forward.
yeah. So it's him. You know what I'm saying, having a older brother, like, it helps him out. Like, he's able to play with him, so it helps with the situation.
You're going a little bit occupied, man. Awful.
Yeah.
And only baby is just him. You know, come back.
Hmm.
Oh yeah, at least. Just I forgot to ask you this question. Have you ever played against a team where you knew the people like from home?
So I haven't had the opportunity to play against anybody that I know, like, from here, but I played against people that I've, like, played against, you know what I'm saying, in other countries that I've became cool with, and we end up being in the same country again and playing against them. So we're friends. So it's kind of like when you're in places, like, being with around the other Americans or other, we'll call it, import players. Like, you kind of, like, get accustomed to knowing each other sometimes. So become cool with them, and sometimes you might end up playing in the same country again, and you know each other. But I haven't been able to play a friend yet overseas.
Oh, it's coming. Um, so if you were to decide to stop playing basketball at any point, what would be your career?
So I have, you know what I'm saying, of course, I know I can't play forever. If I could, I would, but I can't. Um, some summers I've done social work. So I've definitely have did that. I've enjoyed that. being able to do that, I've done it for some couple summers. I've worked with, I've had clients that were younger and older clients. So I would choose to work with the younger clients. Older people are kind of stuck in their ways.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you can't help them, but it's more of like managing their symptoms and kind of helping them get a routine going down. So with kids, you kind of can help mold them a little bit more so they'll be a little better off when they get older. But I enjoy social work, and I don't know, maybe I'll stay in with basketball and do some coaching. I don't know yet. I haven't made my mind up yet.
They'll keep you in the mix.
Yeah, cause I already know it's gonna be tough when I gotta stop playing. So maybe
Yeah.
staying with something dealing with basketball will help me.
Yeah. Keep your mind occupied. Um. So one last question. Overall, keep you motivated.
Overall, um, probably just knowing where I've came from as far as like starting from the bottom. Uh, just I wasn't the most recruited person coming out of high school. I wasn't the most recruited person coming out of trying to be a professional player. So just having that chip on your shoulder, trying to prove that you belong here each year, keeps me motivated, and also my family, like they keep me motivated, keep me grounded. But I've always had that competitive nature of showing people that I belong here and that I'm just I'm good enough to be here. So it's definitely a motivation each and every day. And then plus you got people come in that's younger, trying to take your spot each day. So you gotta prove each year that you belong to stay here.
Um. Awesome. You are super dope. Like story is like super dope. I so much for trusting me with the delivery of your story. I think people seeing that it's an actual process,
Yeah,
um, and believing in yourself play a huge role while you're getting like your talent, yes, but those things that contribute to you being confident enough with your talent to keep going, even when somebody say no over here, somebody just
yeah.
over here on the other side, and I think as long as people know that you are in control of how far you go, and that's all you really need. That's all you need. And we living in a rough time right now with
Is I I say it all the time, not to cut you off, sorry. But I can't imagine like growing up, like coming through high school, like during like a pandemic time. Like it's tough. Like it's tough mentally on these kids out here and dealing with everything that's going on in the world today. Like you gotta stay motivated. You gotta work hard, and it's gonna be bumps in the road. Like don't give up. Like it's not gonna be easy at all. You're gonna have your days where you don't feel like doing stuff, but continue to do it. Just find a way to get through it and stick with
us. Like you could have even said it. Even
it.
imagine going to my graduation drive through parade.
Yeah, like you can't enjoy yourself. Like all the stuff that we did in high school, just being younger. Like I'm saying, like man, it's so many stipulations and stuff now that kids can't do because of COVID, and
Yeah,
it's like it's snatching their childhood away from them. Like I couldn't imagine.
yeah, it is. COVID, and I think the parts of like social media and stuff.
Yeah, yeah, like
It's just
mm,
making everybody want to be adults and grow up, and it's like like take your time, like
take your time on being an adult. Enjoy being a child and a teenager because the years go by fast and you don't get them back.
so fast, like crazy that you gotta make and have something to look back on, when you get in your 30s,
Yeah,
like what, and I think that's why these interviews, talk like to people like you that came literally bottom at 16. succeeding, you're excelling, and like you said, you wasn't, top pick, but
Yeah.
made your dream and then you look at you, you know what I mean? You've been all these places that half the world will never see,
Yeah, like this.
and
I,
you're
I just remind myself, yeah, like man, I'm seeing places that people will never be able to see, and like I don't never take it for granted. So it's definitely a blessing.
and you do something like you said you love to do.
Yeah,
JUCO, like you said, not being top pick, going out overseas, traveling, get on an airplane to do something that you love, and a lot of motherfuckers ain't even make it out of Richmond yet.
yeah. So
They didn't make it out of Richmond yet. So this is super, super motivation for these upcoming athletes, even athletes that's in college right now, that's going back and forth in their head because things not going right for them.
yeah.
And so, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank
Thank
you, thank
God.
you for having me. Thank you. I appreciate you. Keep doing your thing. Keep, like I said earlier, like you definitely are motivating people that you don't even know. So keep doing your thing and stick with it.
Thank you. So, when we get off here, I didn't send you the page information, but I'm gonna give you the page information for where this your interview is.
All right.
Yeah, if you want to tell people, you can share it, whatever. And thank you. And it's a wrap for us.
All right. Thank you. See you.